Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Ball with me, Colly. This week I'm joined by Paddy. Paddy, what's the crack?
Hello, what's the crack? Stone Cold Steve Austin back in action this week.
What?
Oh, yeah.
So, Paddy, I think last week was the first week we missed in like a year.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy stuff when you think
about
about
it. I was devastated, I don't have to say.
But I actually was just thinking there, it is the 1 year anniversary of the little prank that we pulled on Lawler, which was absolutely hilarious. Should we take a look at it?
Do it.
Right, okay. Hold on. Do I have it here actually? I don't even have it.
Oh, don't be teasing us.
What a letdown. What a letdown. Sorry to everyone there. I know I do have it. Here we go. Someone who has done absolutely ridiculous things for this country. One of the best strikers, obviously, well, the best striker that we've probably ever produced. Probably that we're ever going to produce. Lads, Robbie Keane is on.
Yeah, that was going, Robbie. Look, I've been a massive fan of yours. Growing up watching Irish football, you're a massive influence for me. Played with Crumlin myself. First ever all-weather I played on was because of you, and you were signing for Wolves at the time. But the question I wanted to ask you was, you got your dream move to Liverpool. You played 19 games for Liverpool.
I better stop that. I didn't realize it wasn't the bleeped out version, but it's I swear to God, it's still the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Every time I watch it, and it just popped up today that we were on the radio with them like a year ago.
National, yeah, 104 and everything. You were
classic. Classic. So right, Paddy, look, we'll jump into it. We won't stick around anymore. We're going to jump straight into what we like to call the question sections. Okay, so we have a good few questions sent in, so we'll go through them. I don't think I covered on what was actually being covered on this week's podcast, so we are going to be looking at the Premier League games later on. We're obviously going to go through these questions, and then a few bits will pop up along the way. So the first one we have is sent in by Aaron Cowley 10. Who will win the Champions League? I'm saying Real Madrid. Paddy, what are your thoughts on this?
Not going to be United anyway. I'd have to say one of the two English clubs.
Chelsea.
As much as it pains me, yeah.
Chelsea.
I'd to be honest with you, I've just got a feeling it might be City's year this year. They've just felt short so many times now. And I think whoever wins the Champions League between the two, the other one will have the Premier League, because I can't see them being in a double. So I think one is dependent on the other.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. What's going to happen. I
know you don't know. We're looking for a guess.
I am of the thought that, like, worst case scenario, Liverpool win it, and the quadruple is still on. I know obviously this will probably be the end, so we'll know by then if they're going to do it. But I would like to just see them get. I'd just like to see them get knocked out early doors and just fucking Benfica knock them out or something. Be fucking brilliant. But who
see, they haven't won in the last 3 visits.
Yeah,
Benfica.
Who was going
to see them get knocked out by Benfica? Really?
No, I don't think so. I think they're too good. Can I say Chelsea?
Yeah, of course you can.
Chelsea to retain it.
Who's got?
No, I'm not. I won't. I don't think Chelsea are got it. We have who we got?
I don't believe it. Oh, super fan, huh? Super fan.
Poor, isn't it? That's embarrassing. Real Madrid. I don't know whether he's saying that just to wind me up, actually. I don't think Bayern Munich are going to win it. I think it's going to be City or Liverpool, to be fair. I'm going to say it's Man City's year. I think they came so close last year, and we dominated them. We destroyed them. So yeah, I am going to go. I am going to go with Man City to win it. Comment in there from Andy McNulty. Andy would like to see City win it. Yeah, I would like to see Chelsea win it, but I mean, Chelsea is kind of the best one for me. Right, next one, Paddy. We're going to move on. Adam Doyle, 2005 favourites to win League of Ireland. What do you think? Do you reckon Rovers are
Very
going to do
unbeaten
it?
so far. 20
Yeah.
points. Shamrock Rovers on 14 points, so six points behind them, and 8 games played.
Yeah.
It's a strange league, the League of Ireland. It can turn around really, really quickly. Do Derry have the squad depth to last all season? That would be the big question. I think Rovers are in probably one of the best positions in the league, and they're probably what they've won the last 2 seasons because of their squad depth. You know, they've a lot of good players on the bench, even when they have their first 11 out.
Yeah.
It's a 3-way toss-up really between Pats, Rovers, and Derry. But obviously, I'm a Rovers supporter, so I'm going to go for Rovers all day long.
I actually think that Derry are probably going to hold out for the rest of the season. I don't know why. I just feel that Rovers almost have too many good players that it's like they can't control their. It's not that they can't control their egos, but they're just not getting the best out of the amount of good players they have there. So I'm actually gonna stick with Derry to win it. I know it's still early doors, like, but like I think Rovers have dropped way too many points already. And
like, other than Derry though, like look at Pats as well. Like they've all been inconsistent except Derry. So Derry won't go all season. Well, look, that's your pick. That's your pick. But I can see
how bad is the dip gonna be for Derry? That's the one thing we have to look at. Like, are they going to drop 9 points? Are they going to drop 2 points? Are they going to drop 4 points? So it depends on how bad the dip.
There's a lot of head-to-heads as well in the Irish league, you know. So they will still take a lot of points off each other, but sure.
And you're going with Rovers. You're sticking with Rovers.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Right, I'm going with Derry. Right, we'll move on to the next one. Away from football, Coty99 sends in tips for the Masters. I'm liking Cantlay, Woods, and Ram. Paddy, will you be watching the Masters this weekend?
Starts Thursday. I will indeed. Yes. Look, I've got my telly here beside me. This is a new feature, and I'm going to have that on during the day. Also while I'm working, so I can just glance over every now and again.
Don't let the job know that.
I actually, in the sports and social and work, we have to pick 3 golfers. I'll send you the thing over, but I need your help anyway, because I'm not a big watching golf enthusiast. I like playing if I can. But Woods back, I'd love to see him win it.
Isn't it? It'd be unbelievable. Like, if he won it, I genuinely don't think, like, he's been playing some practice rounds this week, and he literally only decided today that he was going to be playing in it. I'd love to see it. Like, I would absolutely love to see him win it. But I just don't think he's gonna be able to do it. The likes of John Ram again, like Coty has said there. John Ram and Cantlay are definitely 2 that are up there. Cantlay is probably. I was actually looking at a video on TikTok, and it went really in depth on how to pick a winner, and went purely based on stats. There was 5 people that came out in the stats. You know, I can't remember them all, but I know Cantlay was number 1. John Ram, I think, was number 4. I think Hovland Hovland wasn't in it. It was, what's your man's name? The English lad with the long hair. Can't remember. Justin Thomas was another one. And was Jordan Spieth was in it. Jordan Spieth could have been in it, but I don't really fancy Jordan Spieth. My pick is actually a guy called Hovland, who has been playing some seriously good golf over the last couple of months. He's won a couple of tournaments, so I'm really liking him. I think he's about 18-1 or so. But yeah, I think John Ram is going to be very good, and again, like Cantlay is going to be very good as well. So it's going to be a good Masters. I think it's going to be really interesting. Sticking on the golf, Paddy, I wanted to just tell you about my golfing career at the moment. So obviously I'm a member of Straffan Golf Club out in the K Club. So I have officially joined my first golf team this week. So yesterday I went out. Now I'm going to say it was quite embarrassing, but it wasn't at the same time. So they play a thing called alternate shot. So basically, I'd hit a shot, he'd hit a shot, I'd hit a shot, he'd hit a shot, hit a shot. So
Was it a shit shot?
I did hit a shit shot. So it's 2v2. So we went out. It was just practice last night at the club. So it was 2v2. I went out with a guy, and we were playing against two other guys who were from the club. It was just practice. So so he says to me at the start, now look, I'm a golf novice when it comes to like competitive golf, because this is the first time I've done it. So he goes to me, odds are even, and I just looked at him and went, odds. And I had no clue what I was answering for. I didn't know what I didn't like. I just played as if, no, I know what he's talking about here. So I just went, odds. Yeah, odds. And he just looked at me and goes, Grant, you can tee off in the first. I was like, oh, bollocks. What he was after asking me was, what holes do I want to tee off on? So either the odd holes or the even holes. So obviously 1, 3, 5. And I was just like, odds. So he's like, all right, you're up first. I was like, oh, bollocks. And I'm not joking. There was a queue of about 20 people watching us. I was shitting myself.
And how'd you do?
So we played a match. So basically, it's a match play. So if we play against them, we get a 4, they get a 3, they go 1 up, and then obviously that's the way it has. If we get the same, we half the hole. We ended the game level, so we drew the game. But on the last hole, I had a 1 foot putt to win it. I fucking missed it.
Oh,
I missed it. Me first ever like half competitive kind of thing. And I fucking missed the putt. Now, it was getting dark at the time, so that's what I'm blaming it on. But the first week I had of it, and your man just goes to me, he goes, look, there's no break on it. He goes, hit it straight at it, hit it nice and firm. I was like, yep, perfect, no worries. Absolutely bottled it, tapped it, and it just rolled out to the left. And I was just like, I just looked at him and went, I'm sorry. And he just goes, no, happens.
Did you not like do a Happy Gilmore? Are you too good for your home? Are you good for your home?
I may as well. I was about to fling the club into the bleeding trees. But no, look, it was my first experience. But I'll do some kind of some content if I can on it, like, and get some videos up on TikTok and stuff like that. So if anyone's watching and want to see any of that, make sure you follow us on TikTok.
I will see that miss, all right.
Yeah. So right, we're gonna move on. That's enough for me talking shit about golf because I'm dirt at it. Actually, for anyone that wants to know, I'm playing off 14, just in case anybody wants to know that. Next one. Andy McNulty has sent in, I love these questions. Come dine with me with 3 past or current players. Who? We've had similar enough questions with this one, but I think this one here, right? Come dine with me with 3 past players. So come dine with me is different than just having a meal with someone, because you have to think they're going to have to cook the meals. So you're going to have to pick someone who you think is a good cook as well. So it can't just be like who you think would be entertaining.
No,
you're going to have to see who's the best cook.
Oh, Jesus. Right, I'm not thinking about the cooking at all. I'm thinking about the crack. Gaza.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not thinking about cooking there.
Just a liquid lunch.
Be cooking something else.
Diego Maradona.
Yeah, again, I can see a trend
Yeah.
here.
And, who'll be number 3? He'll be number 3. Roy Keane, I think.
Yeah, he is good on that. He's always.
Although no, I don't think so actually, because I think unless he's, on the telly or something like that, he'd probably just he wouldn't be as entertaining. Yeah, I don't think he would be.
Yeah.
Alex Ferguson, because he was a player.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
and I'd love to pick his brain.
Bit of a
Right,
loophole.
changed that actually, right? So Alex Ferguson. No, I'll leave it at that. I won't waste any more time on the podcast. But one you.
Right. Obviously, John Terry for me. It's gonna have to be number 1. I think he'd cook a fine pasta meal. I've seen some of his work on Instagram.
There, though, would you?
What?
You wouldn't?
No. That'd be a private session. That's me and JT. That's it. So I think JT would cook me a nice little pasta dish. I think it'd go down well. I'm then going a kind of is he French? David Ginola.
Just because he's French?
Yeah, man, I think he'd be a bit of a laugh, like, I think you'd get a bit of crack out of him, like. I just think, like, I watched him on.
This was all footballers you fancy.
Pretty much, yeah. What was that thing he was on?
I'm a celeb.
I'm a Celebrity. I thought he was cool on that. So and I reckon he'd cook me a fancy old meal. Maybe some snails or something like that. And I think let's go somewhere else. Let's go Didier Drogba for me. Cook me a nice African meal. Bring a bit of culture, a bit of dancing. Think maybe that could be a good little combo there. I know it's very biased towards Chelsea and stuff, but that's what I go. What if Mark Bosnich had me in that say? I was gonna say Adrian Mutu, but I thought Bosnich was a better show. Right, so that's who I'm going with, Paddy. What do you think of that mix?
Boring, really, a little bit.
Because it's Chelsea.
Like, all I go a bit cultured and all. Like, name me an African dish you'd like to taste.
Couscous. I'm hoping your cuisine isn't the best, and you're not able to correct me on that.
I'm googling couscous.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it is. It could be from anywhere. No idea. If that says African dish, I'm walking off.
North African dish. No, you're all right.
Fuck off! That's deadly. That's unreal. Right, we're moving on to the next one. Nice for Andy. So Jay Daly has sent in, how the fuck is Maggie Maguire stealing a living as a professional footballer? Why didn't, and also he sent me up a follow-up as well. Why didn't we sell Paul Pogba back in 2019? He's been a charlatan since then. Nothing more than a brand. Paddy, I'm gonna come to you. Being a United fan, let me hear
it. Maguire. They paid so much money for him, and he's the captain. And you just haven't got a manager with the bottle to drop him, really. He needs to be dropped. I was looking at the overlap last week, and Neville and Kane were saying you can't take the captaincy off him. And when Kane was talking about it, he was like, well, look, the manager's given him the captaincy, and your man in the audience said, well, no, it was actually taken off. Did the last manager give him the captaincy?
Yeah.
So the new manager had no obligation to give him the captaincy.
Yeah.
And I think that holds true. I think a new manager shouldn't be obliged to give the current captain the captaincy.
What I think happens there is a new manager comes in and doesn't want to ruffle feathers and is afraid to make them changes. Like me coming into the dressing room, say me coming in as a manager to this team who have consciously played really bad to get rid of your old manager, or maybe not purposely, but they have played bad and the old manager has gone because of that. Now he has to come in and try and press that squad. And what he doesn't want to do straight away is ruffle feathers and say to himself, I don't want to get myself on the bad side of this squad straight away by taking the captaincy away from a player. That player will pick up a fuss.
There's a way to do it. There
has to be. I think there is.
You don't just come in and say, right, you're gone. You don't be obnoxious or a prick about it. But if what we need is someone to go in and ruffle feathers.
Yeah.
We don't need another yes. Like, we want somebody to do the same as the last manager and the last manager before that. No, we need somebody to do something different. And the next manager needs to get, well, unless they make one of like a Fernandes, maybe a captain, or De Gea, that they're the only two at the current squad that I'd probably give the armband to. I prefer to have an outfield player have it. So Fernandes, but maybe he needs to mature a little bit because
I was going to say, do you think he's a bit of a moan bag for it? Like, is that really what you'd want as a captain? Like,
yeah, I think he could do a job, because you see, at the moment, referees don't have to listen to him because he's not the captain. But if he was the captain, they would have to listen to him. Yeah. And if you remember, Kane would go up relentlessly and intimidate referees nearly, into listening to him. I think Fernandes could annoy them into listening to him. But Maguire, I've no idea. 80 million. When we bought him, and for the first 3 quarters of the season last year, he looked like a good boy. Yeah. Let's call a spade, Well,
do you know what I did think, actually, Paddy? Do you remember you went through that period where he actually wasn't playing, and he's actually looked weaker without him playing? And that was when I was thinking, like, right, maybe he actually was a good signing, because you struggled without him. But like, having said that, you weren't. Well, I suppose you were doing pretty well with him there. Like, you did get up to 4th position. Actually, I think you took it for 3rd, didn't you? 2nd, was it? That was a 3rd. Anyway, he's got up into the top 4, which from where you were was a pretty good
Oh,
feat.
second. Yeah, we finished second.
Second, was it? Okay, very good. But I was thinking to myself during that little period, maybe he was a good boy, but his actual quality has always failed. And whatever about like his leadership and stuff like that, his actual quality as a defender, as a professional footballer, leaves a lot to be desired. And in my opinion, he must have known somebody in the business to get where he is now, because I don't know.
I don't know about that now, because like he was doing well for Leicester, he done well for England.
Yeah,
like he played himself into a position where one of the big clubs were going to come in from, but with it being Man United always pay over the odds. Like you would have seen a City or a Liverpool paying maybe 50 or 60 million for him.
Yeah.
But because it was United, it was the United tax. And not just the United tax, but this is just one of United's problems again. They'll just pay this stupid money. They don't barter. They don't look for alternative options. They just think, oh yeah, he'll do the job. Let's buy him, get him in, and then it doesn't work out. And they just, it's just such a poorly run club.
Have you ever seen the actual wage bill of Manchester United and what they pay some of the players? It's like I was actually shocked when I seen how much some of your players are being paid. Like 250 grand, 300 grand, 200 grand. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how can you justify paying players that much money? Now, look, let's be fair. I think David De Gea is up there, probably deserves it. Ronaldo's up there at something like 350 grand.
Doesn't deserve
Look,
that.
It's Ronaldo, and I'm not going to argue with that one. Then you have, like, I think Jadon Sancho on over 200 grand. Look, I know he's paid a lot of money for him, and he has potential to be very good, but 200 grand, wait until he proves that he's going to be really good.
Yeah, but look, this is the player of his type who gets that money, no matter where he goes.
I don't know. I just think that it's
you're right. It's overinflated.
And just looking at a comment that came in there from Andy, Maguire is the best option for captain because there's nobody else. It's more a poor reflection on the other players, and that is true, because you can't even take away Maguire as captain.
Maguire is not the best option. He is not the best. I totally disagree with that, and it's because as a person, probably yes, he is the best to be captain, but his performances he's been one of the worst performers this season, one of the worst. He's been culpable for so many goals. He makes the whole backline panic. Like I watched this against Leicester there at the weekend, and even the simple passes, every time the ball came to any defender, they just looked like they didn't want it at their feet. They were just trying to get it at their feet as quickly as possible, and they were misplacing the passes because they were just under pressure. And even when there wasn't pressure on them. And this all boils down with Maguire as well. Or because of him.
Did you see the tackle he attempted to make when the goal was disallowed? Harry Maguire's feeble attempt of a tackle against, I think it was Iheanacho. It was fucking pathetic. I mean, this is the captain of Manchester United who was paid fucking 80 million for. And the tackle that he put in, I mean, I wouldn't see that in a fucking Sunday League game. It was flaky. It was embarrassing. There was no desire behind the actual tackle. There was no intent to actually win the ball. Not even to hurt the player. There was literally nothing. He just threw his body down, but it was like in a clueless way, as if to say, like, oh, I'll just throw it in just for the sake of it. It was embarrassing. It was when I was looking at it.
He should be controlling the defense and the midfield.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The spaces, you know what I mean? The keeping the line. He should be doing all that. And he can barely manage his own game. Don't mind anybody else's.
Just looking at that in from Jay Daly. Easy to do well for England in a back five and 2 CDMs under Ole Gunnar Southgate. Which is true. And I was listening to, I think it was TalkSport. I can't remember if it was TalkSport. But Jamie O'Hara. Is that his name? Jamie O'Hara?
Yeah.
And I think it was Scott Minto or something like that is on it. And a guy called in and basically saying, how is Harry Maguire getting picked for England? And they're obviously English, and they're saying, well, look, he's the best player we have, and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, right, okay, I get that. Like, he's probably being picked because he plays for Manchester United. He's captain of Manchester United. But what actually warrants being picked for England now? Is it your performances with your club? Is it your previous performance with England? Like, what is the actual criteria of getting called up to an English team? Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you need? Or is it just the fact that you play for Manchester United? We don't care how bad you're playing at top level. So we think you can bring that into the international team.
Well, he consistently plays well for England, and England have went far in the last couple of competitions they've been in with him in the team. You know, so I couldn't argue against him being put into the English squad. Who would you put in? Although then again, maybe you could with the way they play. They do have a good couple of centre backs there that they could probably just pop in instead of him. It's just he's getting his run because he's getting the odd goal here and there, and yeah, he's not doing too bad.
Right, back onto that one. Sorry. Thoughts on Pogba then? Why didn't we sell him back in 2019? Been Charlton since.
Hitting on the wage structure we were talking about earlier on, and when Jay was actually on the podcast with us a couple of months ago, he actually enlightened me as to the whole Pogba debacle, in the sense of they keep him at the club because he makes money through his persona, through his social media stuff.
Yeah.
And this is even with Ronaldo, like 300 grand a week, like he's probably making them that back through advertising and jersey sales, and it's the same. It's the Pogba show as well. Like it's the football club element of Man United now is going, and it's just a money making thing now. They don't really care about the football. You'd like to hope next season to get a new manager in, blah blah blah. But Gary Neville hit the nail on the head there last week when he said United fans aren't even angry anymore. They're just bored.
Yeah.
And I was watching that Leicester game, and I got up and I didn't watch the last 10 minutes, and it was 1-1. I just knew we weren't going to come back. Like, and even if we did, like, what like, we're still going to finish 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
It's just they've made football horrible to watch, and we have one of the most expensive squads in the league.
And that's why I always try to get back to it, is like, how can we justify paying that much for these players when you aren't performing to the level that they should be performing at? Now, I get it. You're playing for the biggest club. You're playing for the biggest club in the world. You're gonna make back money, but I just fucking think that the actual talent side of it and the whole fucking desire to play at a top level and play at your very best, give it 110%. Because when I see the likes of Rashford walking around the pitch, it fucking makes me sick. It makes me absolutely sick to my stomach to think that fucker is getting paid over 200 grand a week and he can't even watch the ball and fucking run a 10-yard sprint to try and do it for the fucking 80 or 70,000 fans that are in the stadium. It makes me fucking
are a desperate club. A desperate club, and the players know they're a desperate club. So Man United need the players more than the players need Man United, because Man United isn't the same club it was under Ferguson. So we need a manager there that's strong enough. And I said it when Jay Daly was on, give the manager 4 or 5 years to completely rebuild.
Not this manager.
What?
Not this manager.
No, the next manager.
Okay. I was thinking this one. Like, I think this manager even is the wrong manager.
No, give the next manager, whoever it is, 4 or 5 years, because I think he might have a rocky couple of 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Like,
so it leads me into actually talking about the manager. So sorry, I'm not putting that up again. Gary Neville done a poll on, I think it was his Instagram or whatever it was, and he said Ten Hag or Poch, and I think it was over 200,000 votes, and I think it came out something like 80% to Ten Hag. What's your thoughts on the next manager? Who do you want to see as the next manager? And do you agree with, just looking at the 2 boys that I mentioned in that poll, do you agree with Ten Hag being your choice over Poch?
I've always said Poch on the podcast. Yeah. I've always said it. I think for what he done at Tottenham, like, we know what type of a club Tottenham is. They're a flaky club. He built a good squad, got them to the Champions League final, consistently in the Champions League, didn't win anything. There's talk because he didn't win the league in the 4th season with PSG, but I still think he's a really, really good coach, Premier League experience, and he could do a job at United with the resources given to him and enough time. But then again, Ten Hag could, he's done well with Ajax. He's won a couple of leagues, a couple of cups. He's worked under Pep or with Pep. He's a good pedigree. But again, it's a big jump from Ajax to Manchester United. To be honest, I don't mind which one it is now. To be honest with you, the only thing I want to see is it being done right. I want to see them getting the back, and I want to see the club being run properly again. Because it hasn't been since Ferguson left. It really hasn't. I mean, whoever it is needs to be really, really strong in terms of how they lead the club. And I hope the likes of your man John Morton now and Darren Fletcher, who are the sport and football directors, and now even Ragnick, who's going to be a consultant, which I actually think is good, considering he sees now exactly what every player in that dressing room is like. So when the new manager comes in and he says, I want to get rid of this fella, Ragnick's going to be like, yeah, I totally agree with you. He's a cancer in the squad, or he's useless. Get rid of him. But yeah, I'd take either one.
And is there anyone else in mind that you have in terms of managers, or would it be them between them two for yourself as well? Like Zidane, would you be thinking Zidane?
No. I've always said about Zidane that he came in when Ronaldo was at his
prime
absolute
time.
peak.
Yeah.
That Real Madrid squad was just unbeatable. Now he's still done great. He really did. But then when he came back to a squad that wasn't quite as good, he failed miserably. And then he hasn't done anything else since. So again, it'd be a gamble, more of a gamble than it would be for Ten Hag or Pochettino.
He nearly suits the United way though as a brand in himself, isn't he? Like because he is a big, massive name to get in as a manager, but just because of what he's done in his footballing career, I suppose.
Aren't massive anymore. Like they are in terms of name, but as their reputation now is each season has just been eroded away. And like you'll see now, like if they don't fix it now, it's all well and good having the biggest fan base in the world right now. But you look in 5 or 10 years when all the kids grown up and being born now, they're looking at Manchester United, they're going, I'm not supporting them, I'm supporting Liverpool United. And then in another 10 years, they'll be all grown up and they'll be spending their money on different clubs. And United won't be the biggest supporter club anymore. Because they let
I have to admit, I am seeing a lot more kids even supporting Manchester City in terms of in the area of Manchester. There is a lot more kind of City fans now, like than there ever was, like, which is obviously money grabbing fuckers, like, but still.
A lot of Liverpool fans, I'm sure, globally now. A lot more since Jurgen Klopp came in. If I could have any manager in the world, it'd be obviously Klopp or Pep. But even I'd probably take Klopp. I think over any manager in the world, I'd probably take Klopp.
Interesting. Right, Paddy, we'll move off the questions.
What about you for the United manager?
Who do I think? I genuinely so I can see where you're coming from, where you're like, right, we have to give them 4 or 5 years, we have to give them longevity. Look, I'm from Chelsea, obviously, and I just want instant success. I don't want 4 or 5 years of a potential for building something. I want to win a trophy the year a manager comes in. I want an instant bounce. Look, I know it's a little bit greedy and a little bit fucking naive or whatever, but that's what I want, and that's what, as a fan, you should want: success and instant success. I think Chelsea do it quite well. They're very cutthroat with their kind of appointments and sackings of managers. I don't know. Like Luis Enrique, actually, Jay's just after throwing it up there. Luis Enrique, for the United job wouldn't be a bad show. Again, he's proved it to an extent. Still has a lot to prove, which would give him kind of a hunger, which is what you need, I think, at that level.
Doesn't seem to even
what about like an Ancelotti?
No.
I don't know. And I think United fans are afraid of getting a certain type of fan or manager in. That I genuinely think that like when Antonio Conte was with it, you're like, no, he'll upset too many people. Is that not what you need? No, not yourself, but I have heard from a lot of United fans. Like, no, he would clash with players. Okay, but he's still a manager everywhere else. He's not clashing with every players. The players he clashes with are probably the ones that aren't going to work, and you'll wean them out pretty quick.
Oh yeah, absolutely for those. Yeah, but who did you say there a second ago?
Luis Enrique.
No.
Ancelotti.
Ancelotti, sorry. The only reason I say no to him is because I've seen when he had a disjointed squad at Everton how badly things went. And I just see how bad disjointed.
Everton.
No, I know, but I just see how bad and disjointed Man United squad is.
Yeah.
And I want somebody stronger than Ancelotti in there.
Ancelotti, don't fucking diss Ancelotti. He's very, very, very good manager. I put him up there in one of the top 10, maybe.
Very good manager.
Right, Paddy, we're gonna jump off. We're gonna be going through all of the Premier League matches for the weekend. So I'll take us into the Premier League predictions. Right, Paddy. First one up, we have Newcastle and Wolves. Look, obviously a pretty good turnaround, I suppose, from Eddie Howe to get them where they are to where they were. Where?
They're on the holidays now.
Yeah, so they haven't won in the last 3 or so. What do you think is going to happen in this game?
I would go with, to be honest, I'm going to go with a draw, a 0-0 draw.
Interesting.
Because I think after they let in 5 goals against Spurs, I just think they might just shut up shop and play safe, and it's at home. So I think Wolves will obviously, if it was in Wolves Stadium, I'd say Wolves would get the win, but I'm going to say a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, I am actually going to say Wolves to win this one. And I know kind of Newcastle have been on a little bit of a high, but obviously they're coming back down to earth now. I am going to go with a 2-1 win for Wolves in this one, or anything enough. So, sorry, just a quick one in from Jay. Pogba and the snowflakes in his dressing room threw Jose under the bus, yeah. And that's why I think fucking...
My God, like what Jose said was so true. Everything he said.
Yeah. And it makes you respect him a lot more now when you look back, isn't it? Like, because it would have looked bad on Jose if Jose had have left, another manager came in and was instantly successful.
I'd have Jose back.
Oh, 100%. I would love Jose back at Chelsea. So you're going 0-0, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go 2-1 to Wolves, and I'm gonna say João Moutinho to score. Right, Paddy, on to the next one. Super Frank Lampard having an absolutely awful time against Manchester United. What do you think's happening here?
United were just so flat against Leicester. It was frightening, and Leicester haven't been on a great run this season either. So I'm just narrowly go with United win, maybe 2-1, and Fernandes to score first.
Yeah, I'm stuck in between the two here because I know Everton are obviously doing really, really bad. But is this the one that kind of Lampard turns it around in and kind of gets that little bit of a jump from now till the end of the season? I don't know. I'm actually gonna go with an Everton win on this one, Paddy. And I'm gonna say 1-0. I'm gonna say they're gonna struggle to score for some reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. On that.
Sorry. So yeah, I'm gonna go 1-0 to Everton. I'm gonna say Gray to score. I think he might get on the score sheet. I don't know. They haven't scored in ages, so let's see. Well, they scored last game, whatever. Next one, Paddy. Arsenal and Brighton. Obviously, Arsenal coming off an absolutely pathetic result against Crystal Palace, getting beaten 3-0. Brighton are one of them teams. They drew 0-0 against against Norwich there. They're in 13th position. They're well clear of the relegation zone, but they don't have much to fight for. This is one of them games where I think Arsenal have a lot more to win, to gain from a good result here than Brighton do. I'm going to jump straight in. I'm going to say a 3-1 win for Arsenal, and I'm going to go with Smith Rowe to score.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. Yeah, 2-0 Arsenal, Lacazette to score. Forced.
Nice one. Right, next one we have is Southampton and Chelsea. Look, obviously one of the worst results Chelsea could have possibly gotten there against Brentford. Absolute shit show, to be fair. Rudiger scored one of the goals of the season, and then we just fucking fell apart. How do you see this one going, Paddy?
I just is it a bit of bad luck? Is all this shit around Abramovich starting to affect the players and the club? What do you think?
I don't think so. Look, a really, really bad result, obviously. I don't know if it's affecting us that much. I think they'll probably stay very professional of it. One thing that may be affecting us is Thomas Tuchel is actually splitting from his wife at the moment. So he has literally just split up from his wife of fucking 12 years, I think. So was his head in it on the weekend? Because it only came out, I think, the day or two after. I don't know. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe Maybe he showed a little bit of weakness, maybe a lack of
First game after
motivation.
national break as well, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So it is kind of a tough one. I don't think too much about the whole Abramovich situation. I think the players are going ahead as normal. Like I think they know what's going on, not in terms of they know who's taking over and stuff, but they can obviously see what we see in the media. They know that obviously what's happening. And I don't think they'll be affected too much. I'm gonna go with a win for Chelsea in this one. I'm gonna say 2-1. And I'm gonna say Havertz to score. Chelsea are seriously lacking actually in goals, like in terms of like strikers scoring goals. Havertz has scored in a couple of games, like probably 4 in his last 5 or so, but I just don't think he's a striker. I think he's more kind of a 10 role. So I think, I'm gonna go with Chelsea 2-1.
I'm gonna agree with you. 2-0 Chelsea. I can't see them losing 2 games on the bounce. Or even getting the draw at Southampton. I'm going to go for Werner to score.
Yeah, interesting. Do you know what? I've given up on Werner. He played there in the last game. He started, and I was just fucking so unimpressed with him.
But what's happened to the strikers at Chelsea?
So Lukaku, obviously, the whole shit came out about that interview. He actually scored a goal just before because he was injured, and I think he had COVID. Came back from that, scored a goal. Then the fucking news breaks of the interview. The interview broke from the one he done with Milan. Didn't really help, I don't think, and he hasn't really hit form since. So I don't know whether it's a mental thing. It's almost like he's trying too hard now at the moment to prove to Chelsea fans that he's loyal to the club, that he wants to be the best striker that's ever been at the club. Not going to happen, never will happen, because Didier Drogba will always probably hold that. But yeah, at the moment he's probably trying too hard. And Timo Werner, for me, just isn't there. He's just mentally not there. Yeah. Actually, do you know what? I would say he's mentally not there, but he's also physically not there. If you watch some of the last performances that he's had, and you look at it compared to what he was doing in Germany, even his pace has dropped. Like,
really,
his top speed has been nowhere near what he was hitting in Germany. And even him trying to run back after the ball at the very start, when he first signed for the first couple of weeks, he was sprinting up and down, and he was like lightning. I was saying to myself,
it's the same with Lukaku. It's fucking, they're both going to Greg's together. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I was saying to myself when Werner was after signing, I was like, this is a fucking great sign. He's going to bang in goals. And it's fallen to the fucking wayside. He's done fuck all since. So getting fed up with Werner. Lukaku, again, still has a lot to prove to Chelsea fans, because we forgive, but we don't really forget what he done. So, right, we'll move on, I suppose, to the next one. Watford and Leeds. How do you see this one going, Paddy? Look, obviously, Leeds drew 1-1 with Southampton in the last game.
Yeah,
and
lost against Liverpool.
Yeah. So, what way do you see this one going?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a Leeds win, a narrow win, 1-0. Daniel James to score.
Interesting. I don't know about this, and I think it could be a draw. And I think it could be a score draw. And I'm going to go with 1-1. I actually think a low scoring draw. But I'm gonna go with, now I'm gonna fuck the pronunciation of this, Gelhard off Leeds to score. I don't know if that's how you spell it.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
I don't know how to pronounce the name, but that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna go with that. So on to the next one, Paddy. Villa and Spurs. How do you see this one going? Look, obviously Spurs.
A good game.
Yeah, I think this will be actually a good one. Yeah. What way do you see it going?
I think Spurs were strong against Newcastle. They went 1 down, but Jesus Christ, they just played them off the park then after that. So I'm going to go for Spurs win again. Spurs going for the Champions League. Conte, I think, might be the catalyst in. I know it'll be between themselves and Arsenal. I just can't see United doing it anyway. So I think it'll be between themselves and Arsenal. But I think you can see that Conte grit getting into the Tottenham squad now. So I can see them getting results. I'm going to go Spurs with a 3-1 win and Harry Kane to score first.
Yeah, so for anyone wondering about what positions they are in the league, so obviously Spurs are 4th at the moment with 54 points. Arsenal are 5th with 54 points, but Arsenal have the game in hand. Given what happened on yesterday, like, opportunity missed big time for Arsenal there. Is this the kind of the crumble of Arsenal, and Spurs kind of keep it up? I don't know. But for me, I think opportunity missed for Spurs. or for Arsenal. Spurs do look very strong again, like you said. There went 1-0 down against Newcastle and came back and obviously scored 5 goals. I think they will win this game, and it's been a bit of a fucking mixed bag for Gerrard lately, hasn't it? I'm starting to see that little bit of arrogance coming out because he done an interview. I don't know if you've seen it with your man fucking Des Kelly off BT, and start getting smart again with him. Like, now I know, look, I know this.
Again.
So a little bit of tongue in cheek in it. He basically said, "Look, there's a bit of a gap between yourselves and United." And it was a stupid question by Des Kelly, and he was like, "That's very good. Well done. You're after spotting that very good." Like, basically just like fucking belittling him. Like, but it was kind of funny. But at the same time, I was thinking, "You arrogant cunt!" Like,
yeah.
So I think Spurs are going to win this one. I'm going to go 2-1, and I'm going to say Son to score because Son's been playing pretty well lately.
Yeah.
Right, on to the next one. Brentford and West Ham. So, yeah, I don't know about West Ham. Look, they're very inconsistent. They've kind of they've drawn one, lost one. They can't get that run going. They can't really get it going for the push for the Champions League spot. They're not miles off it. Like, they're on level points with United, 51 points. Again, I've played more games. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, I think West Ham will get the win. Actually, you know what? I want to go for a draw. I think it'll be a draw because it's in Brentford's ground. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, but I'll go for West Ham to score first. Antonio to score first.
Sorry, but I'm drinking water the wrong way. So, sorry.
Pour it down your nose or something.
Yeah, into the ear. Yeah, look how kind of much momentum are Brentford going to get from the win against Chelsea? Do they even need it? They're secured. They're in 14th position. They're not really in danger of going down. Again, they're one of them clubs that don't really have much to play for. I think you're right. I think West Ham are going to win this one, and I think 2-1 is a good show. And I'm going to go with Jared Bowen to score. I think that will be the result of that one. On to the next one.
I said 1-1, but okay.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. Because you choking on water. Ooh, that could be taken wrong. Next one, is Leicester versus Crystal Palace. Look, obviously Leicester coming off the draw against United, and Palace coming off the great win against Arsenal. Again, Palace, then one of them teams, not much to play for. Leicester, again, the same. Could go either way. What way do you think?
Yeah, as you said, I think that Leicester will see the United result as a very, very positive result, nearly like a win, considering it was at Old Trafford. So I'm going to go for Leicester 1-0 and Ian Nacho to score. Yeah,
and you don't think Palace are going to take that momentum into the next game, do you?
No, because I've seen them drop by the big City as well. You know what I mean? They're a bit inconsistent. I think Vieira knows how to play against the tippy-tappy sides. Because if you look at like Arsenal and City, they play similar.
Similar enough, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with a Leicester win. But I'm going to say a tight enough win. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to say Maddison to score. So I think he might get on the score sheet. So next one is Norwich and Burnley. What's your thoughts on this one? Score predictions, don't want to know about it. Yeah, bar fest, isn't it? Yeah. Burnley, in fairness to them, still have a good bit to fight for. They're struggling, looking to stay up. We all thought that Sean Dyche was going to save them, but look, obviously not. I'm going to go with I actually am going to go with Burnley to win, though. I'm going to say 1-0, but I'm actually going to throw a spanner in the works. I'm going to say a Norwich OG. I was like, no. I gotta go with an OG. I don't think there's anyone good enough to score for Burnley. But yeah, we'll go with that. Last one, Paddy. Man City and Liverpool. Is this the title decider?
Borefest. No. How many games are left in the season, actually?
There's 8. Both teams have 8 games left.
No, it's not a title decider. No, I don't think so.
I think so.
Because it could be a draw.
Yeah,
it could very well be a draw. Do I think it will be a draw? No, I think City will win it. just because it's at the edge. If it was in Anfield, I'd say Liverpool would edge it. But I think just the home advantage might just swing it for them. I think City are going to win it. It's going to be a great game. I'm going to go with a high scoring game. So I'm going to go for 3-2. And I'm going to go for De Bruyne to score first. But it's going to be a good game, great game. Can't wait for it.
Do you know what, right? And I hate to say this, but I have a sneaky feeling that Liverpool are going to win the league this year. And that kills me. That kills me to say it. But I genuinely think Liverpool are going to win the league. City will probably win the Champions League. And I actually think Liverpool are going to win this game. And I know you're saying like it has everything to be a high scoring game. But I actually think this is probably going to be a little bit of a game of chess. Both teams are going to want to win, but both teams aren't going to want to lose. So I genuinely think it's probably going to be 1-0 to Liverpool. And I'm going to say Diego Jota to score. I just don't think that City want to risk it while they have the 1 point gap. And they don't need to. Do you know what I mean? A draw, they'd be happy with a draw, I think. So I don't think they're going to risk it, but I think Liverpool will probably be able to break them down and get that lucky goal.
Don't play for a draw against Liverpool.
I don't know.
I
mean, the incentive is there to go and win and take your 4 point gap, which would be a massive thing. But I just don't know. I just don't know if they're gonna do it because of how dangerous Liverpool are on the break.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. It'd be great to support one of them, wouldn't
it? No, it wouldn't actually. No, it wouldn't. I do not agree with that comment.
Or right, Paddy. If our team was in a position.
Yeah, it'd be good if my team was in that position. Like if our team, if that was us, maybe that would be good.
Yeah.
Right, Paddy, we're gonna end it there. We've managed to get under the hour mark, so I'm happy with that. Thanks to everybody that has sent in questions and got involved with the podcast, I suppose, on the Instagram page. If you are watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, make sure you hit follow, make sure you hit subscribe, hit the little like button, tell your mates, because we're cool. You know, we're good guys.
Deadly.
We're deadly. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you hit the follow button and download the episode. Also, go on and rate us, because you can rate us on Spotify now as well. So make sure you do that. And don't give us anything less than a fucking 5-star rating. Rate. Rates with a T. All right, just to clear it up. I mean, text it, DM me if you want to talk about the other one. But yeah, so look, Paddy, massive thanks for coming on this week.
Cheers, man. It's good to be back to a bit of normal formatting. We don't get to talk enough shit when the guests are on. They get to talk all the shit.
I know, yeah. We have to talk too much about them. We lose ourselves. So yeah, I think we'll be back probably the same time next week. Actually, no, we'll probably move back to our 8:30 slot for next week, depending on what's on and what's going on. So so look, thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you all next week.